Good morning, my fellow yogic travelers. I'm mighty glad to be alive today, and I hope that you are too, as we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, and live the life we love. Don't forget to loaf. Thursday is my story day. This one comes from Burma, the Old Alchemist. Once upon a time, there lived an old man with his beautiful daughter, and she fell in love with a handsome youth in the village, and they were married with the man's blessing. And then, after a short time or a long time, whatever time it takes in these stories, um, he ran through his patrimony quickly. He got a dowry in those days. And then, after a while, the daughter came to the husband, to her father, and said, "Listen, my husband, it turns out to be a ne'er do well. He spends all his time thinking about alchemy, always saying, I don't need a job. I'm on the verge of a breakthrough. Is there anything you can do with him?" So the father said, "Tell him to come and speak to me." So when the wife told him that the father-in-law wanted to speak to him, he went with that kind of like, you know, squinty eye look and didn't look very pleased. Pleased, he was ready to get reprimanded. And the father said, "I heard that you're an alchemist." And he said, "Yeah, so what of it?" "I'm an alchemist too." And he brightened. "Really?" "Yes. I've been working on it for many, many years, and I'm right on the verge of a discovery that's going to make it happen. But I'm too old, I think, and it requires much work." And the young man said, "Well, I can do it for you. Have no fear. I'll do it." He says, "You would?" "All right, well, here's the thing. We need to collect 2 pounds of this silver powder that grows under each banana leaf when the plant matures. But it's just a microscopic speck. And so it'll take a long time." He says, "I'll do it. I'll do it." So the father lent him some money to buy some lands. They planted banana plants, and the man was totally on top of this whole game, weeding it, making sure pests and insects wouldn't get. And it was true. Every time the banana plant came to fruition, there was a small speck of silver dust, which he collected very, very carefully. And then after a couple of years, it turned out that he had 2 pounds of this silver powder from the bananas. So he ran to the father. He was so excited. He said, "Look, I got it. I got it. Now we can do the incantations." He says, "All right, now before we do it, let my daughter come here." "What did your daughter have to do it?" "No, you got to bring her here." So he got his wife. He brought her. He says, "Okay, now what we do?" So he said to his daughter, "Listen, while we were planting all those banana plants and we were saving the silver powder, what did you do with the bananas?" She said, "Well, I went to the market and I sold them." "And did you make anything from them?" And she pushes 2 bags of gold out on the table and says, "Here, here's all of what I've saved from that." So the father grabs some dirt, rolls it through his hands, and says, "See, from base metals comes gold." And at first, the son-in-law was not very happy, but then he got the message that the old alchemist was giving him, and he smiled. And from then on, they prospered greatly, and they really respected the old man as being the wisest of all the alchemists. So once you get to a certain stage in your life, you got to exchange magic for work. So I hope that we've all gone through, those of us who are old enough have gone through the primary mask that society stamps on you, tells you what you should do, who you should do it with, and by when, and put on the antithetical mask of the rebel, of the maverick. Says the potential that each one of us has inside ourselves is to throw off that primary mask and be who we really are. I don't think you can do this just by transferring the power from daddy to a therapist or a guru. You're still like setting yourself up for being like a child. So, how do you reconcile yourself to the foundation of your own existence, which comes out of the superessential darkness and is its own support? That's what I call having the romance with the mystery of life. So, the only way to do that is to love, like it says in the Gita. In any way that people love me, in that way they find me. In the end, all come to me. So, don't be a doubter. Keep believing that the heart is where spirit really dwells. And spend some time, I hope, in silence. You don't want to call it meditation or whatever, but out of the internet, not filling yourself up with media, news, communication in any way. It's like you want to create a clutter-free space, like a feng shui in your mind, so that you can realize that the integration is off the mat, not in books, not in practices, not in comparing yourself to anybody else, but in the way you comport yourself and treat other people on a day-to-day basis. So you don't have to fix anything. Just live intentionally, And to the extent that it's possible, when it's appropriate, understand that feeling happy, even if it's just for a moment, it's a choice that we all make and a potential we all possess.